and some chicken strips or whatever the fuck they got going on at the movies.
Damn, your theater got chicken strips. My theater only got popcorn and snow caps.
Macaroni with the chicken strips.
See, you guys make Houston sound way cooler. Like, I talk to Brandon sometimes. He's like, "Oh yeah, I had this to eat. I had this to eat. I had Tex-Mex." I'm like, "Dude, listen, fix your grid, and then I'm on the way."
Yeah. I mean, there's anything, any manner of delicacy that you would want to, partake in. It is here, and sometimes you got to travel for it.
Listen,
Oh,
the fact I could just pull up and be like, "I want this, and that," and put my Magnum over the glass. That's what makes Houston awesome.
well, your Magnum, your Wankerwoo, or the pistol.
The pistol. You put that over the glass. I want that. Like, that's how I imagine it goes down. You're at Whataburger. You're like, I want a number 3, number
Yeah,
6,
and you point at everything with your pistol in your hand, right? Yeah, I want this one, this one, this one.
and then you pick up your order number with the barrel. Just like, all right, there we go. I'm gonna give this to you back.
What is this? What's that movie? Guns Akimbo or whatever the fuck. They stuck there. They just don't leave.
Oh, it's so awesome. Every time I read something, it's like, good for you, Dallas. You guys got, or Houston as a whole, you guys got Joe Rogan, you got Whataburger, you got everything.
Well, you can have Joe Rogan if you want him.
I'm indifferent. I'll take Joey Diaz.
Yeah. But welcome to another edition of the Random Rounds with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. But if you're a first-time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, go ahead and lean over and give that person a crisp high five. Yeah, hold on, we on the other side, homeboy. You right here. Look, other way. There you go.
There you go.
Right. But you still worried about skin to skin contact with somebody other than your freak thing. Go ahead, pick up your social media app of choice and send that person that recommended you to me a well-crafted DM telling them thank you for recommending you to me. And speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rambles with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, and for everywhere else that you want to look me up, you can go to randomrob.com. randomrob.com, to where you can find all manner of things pertaining to the show. And if you want to see this show, you want to see our faces and everything, you can go on to 3R Show on YouTube. But to go back to randomrob.com, we can't forget the goddamn sponsor, Hooks, Rubs, and Spices. Open your third eye and daggone travel through the multiverse to get some of this stuff off of hooksrub.com. And hell, for your travels through the multiverse, you can save 15% on all that transversing and all that other stuff you had to do. You can save 15% for your troubles if you use promo code RANDOM. So yeah, if you haven't caught the little reference there, me and my boy Rito.
What up?
He's my current resident comic book expert and Marvel movie fanatic. We're gonna be spoiling the shit out of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
And here's the thing. If you haven't watched it yet, pause it right now, because there are fantastic things going on in the multiverse. There are extreme things going on in the universe. Some might say it's mind-boggling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what we call a taste.
Yeah, and we're not going to get straight into the spoilers right away, but once we cross that threshold, boy, we'll let you know. Well, I think I got some freaky sounds for that? Do I got some noises or something? Yeah, you'll get the horns once we reach spoiler territory. So, how many times did you see it?
2. And I'm watching the third one tomorrow in 3D.
That's going to be a mindfuck.
I cannot wait to see things flying across the screen, seeing paint worlds. It's going to be incredible.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a 4D theater in your area?
No, we just got 3D, so this is like one of the first films to be shown in 3D at this theater.
Okay, yeah. Oh man, that's a great way to break in the system too. Yeah, but 4D. I
$5
mean,
a pop, it's not bad.
yeah, 4D as well. I mean, you heard Beat 'em Down talk about it on the Cult 45 podcast when they went see anything, everything. What the kung fu flick
Wait,
with
who saw that?
Brandon
Who's that?
from Cult 45.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, it might not be in your timeline,
No,
but
I'm just kidding. No, no, no. Brandon's great people. Everything, everywhere at once. That I will say this. Minor spoiler alert for that film. If you want your whole understanding of multiverse and different dimensions kind of skewed and different views, I suggest watching that one first, then Doctor Strange, because it kind of eases the blow. So timing wise, I seen them 2 days apart. So like my whole perspective on everything has been like
yeah,
my third eye's been opened.
yeah, I seen that one I think a couple weeks back. I think I seen it premiere week for anything, everything, and all the stuff. And it's
Listen,
crazy because I mean they had a third eye reference in that one as well. I mean, it's just very eerie, similar to Doctor Strange. I mean, they might have crossed paths at some points, and I'll point that out once we start getting into spoilers and stuff.
yeah, I won't look at Employee of the Year awards the same after that film because my company has the same style. So once I saw that, I was like, oh. So that's where things kind of got weird because I'm like, we have those at my job.
Googly eyes. Am I
Yeah,
right?
precisely.
Oh man. But you've seen it twice. I've seen it once. I was very close to on the teetering edge of pissing off my wife and small child by going before and without them. But I got to sit down and sit with it and everything, and I'm just excited to see what happens beyond this because I mean each film that they come out with, we what 25, 26 films in deep, buku miniseries and everything, and web series and all kinds of stuff, further pushing this storyline and this just the adventure through the Marvel universe, cinematic universe forward. So now we talk about interdimensional and multiversal travel and whatnot. What's next after this? Because the next movie is Thor:
Thor.
Love and Thunder, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Thor, and then I think Miss Marvel, the TV series. Overall, I think what Kevin Feige is doing right now, as far as the whole, because he said we're not going to have like an Endgame like event for at least 10 years. Like the guy has a 10-year plan going out,
Oh
and
man.
and the only thing that's going to happen, because everyone's expecting this whole Endgame thing, it's like we're going to tell each story page by page. Like Moon Knight, for example, that could just stay enclosed, no connections to anything. Like if you
Mhm.
haven't seen it yet, obviously spoiler alert at this point for Moon Knight, but there was no cameos from anyone else, and it was just in its own universe. Like you close it as it is, and we could pick up that whenever. And then same
Whoa,
thing.
whoa, whoa, whoa. There were two cameos in Moon Knight.
Really, I must have missed them. Who were the cameos?
Spoilers. It was both his alter egos. There you go. I had to fuck with you. Hold on, let me
Oh,
get my whack ass drum beats. There you go.
oh wow! I was sitting there just like, wait a minute, what? Originally, they were gonna have the Eternals involved, but I mean, it seems like a lot of people are trying to back away from that, and I just hope they don't
Yeah.
get into Inhumans territory because everything could be forgiven with the multiverse.
Hmm. And there was a couple of things that I have not seen. I have not seen not a single drop or a single thing of Agents of Shield. I've never. What was the Inhumans a series of in his own?
Yeah, it was a series on ABC. They rolled out the first 3 episodes night one, so that was kind of a
Hmm.
tell to say like, hey, they're not really putting much behind it. And honestly, Heroes, NBC Heroes was better.
Okay. So the other films that they got floating around like Cloak and Dagger and don't they have another Marvel
Yeah, Cloak and
show?
Dagger. Yeah, Cloak and Dagger is a TV show, and then they have the second series of I forgot what it was. There's Agent Carter and all that stuff,
Mm.
and that one was fun. It's one of those things where I think they were just getting their legs from under them and kind of figuring things out because Agents of Shield, like it's for the NCIS and CSI crowd. Like it's like,
Mhm.
oh, if you like it, if you're throwing it on before Monday Night Raw, it's good. I think
Mhm.
they just needed a better lead in.
Okay. Well, as far as Cloak and Dagger, have you any experience with that series?
I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and the way I experienced it was so I read the comic books, the Ultimate series, which is the better iteration of it. Where this one, they didn't have much leeway because in the Cloak and Dagger Ultimate series they cross over with Spider Man, Miles Morales Spider Man and Silk, so it's just kind of that like extra smorgasbord of Marvel property that's it's not Disney but it's not ABC, so we kind of have to
Yeah.
like they don't use the word mutants and things like that because obviously Fox still holds the rights to that. So
Well, I mean, that's non-existent, right? Because Disney bought all that out.
yes, until I think June of this year, I know there's like it's pretty much all signed and set up with the whole Deadpool and everything going on. It's just a matter of they're trying to find a better word or something that they're trying to do where it's like metahumans seems to be the word they want to
Yeah.
go with. So I think mutants seems like something that they don't want to associate with to any connections of the past. But I mean, with Marvel, everything's up in the air because,
Hmm.
like you said, you just restart button interdimensional Earth 616 Earth da 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 da.
Yeah. And that I got a funny feeling in my bones whenever they started throwing out the numbers like 616 and all that. I was like, wait, whoa, we numbering them now. All right, we doing that. We pulling that out the hat. All right, cool.
It's amazing because some of the numbers they used, and even a quote spoken by a character which was used in the previous film. Once I mentioned it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that until you said it."
Oh well, are you talking about Far From Home?
No, it's something else actually.
Well, let's start to roll on and everything. I'm gonna hit this button real quick. This is where we get into spoiler territory, everybody. So if you want to cut out here and maybe come back at the end or something, I don't know. But we about to hit the spoilers. Once again, this is your warning. Spoilers for Doctor Strange.
Put that star
Spoilers for
down.
Doctor Strange.
Put that star down. Disappear to the next dimension.
Yeah.
So where
So
where do we start?
I'm not familiar. Well, shit, I'm not familiar with a lot of shit because up until like maybe 3 weeks ago, I just started reading comic books. 40 years old, just started reading comic books. So I am not familiar with or was aware of America Chavez.
So America Chavez in the comic books, as far as per canon for the mainline Marvel series, I think post Ultimates, she's the first Puerto Rican superhero to
Mhm,
be featured full Puerto Rican because I mean we have Miles as well,
mhm.
but it seems like this it was more extreme. So the way a lot of people assume with America Chavez, they're like, oh, it's a Captain America variant, and then there was some people that disliked the fact that the actress was Mexican and not a Puerto Rican,
Puerto Rican.
but it was never like fully addressed. And then there's some people that are like, "Oh, I can't believe it. She has two moms. LGBT. You gotta." It's like no, this was something that they put in the comic book pages. This was something that was from the jump because her world was actually like a utopia essentially. And then
Yeah.
her parents. So in the comic book,
So I
she
mean, so you mean to tell me it's only a utopia if the place is just all women, right?
listen. I can't speak on that. I mean, it is
Yeah.
Mother's Day, so we'll give them that.
Yeah.
But her parents made the sacrifice play of trying to save her and then or save their world, and then she woke these powers in her to hey, let me try and find my parents because that was the whole kind of rigmarole of it all. I don't know if it was in this one because I know there were with Doctor Strange, the Defenders version of Strange, looking for the Book of Ashanti or the Book Shanti. I don't even
Yeah.
know.
Ashanti. Ooh, baby, baby, baby.
Yeah, so your days are cold without that book.
Hmm.
But yeah, America Chavez is a great character. The actress playing her, it seems like Marvel. What they're doing is they're working on the Marvel Champions style storytelling. So you get the younger crowd. So you got Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna get Nova, so I'm thinking they're switching her out for America Chavez. We were gonna get Squirrel Girl, but unfortunately AT&T Girl and all that stuff didn't work out. And then
Yeah.
Miles and everyone else. So it's gonna be interesting. I think Nova's probably gonna be introduced after Guardians or even Thor.
So for Squirrel Girl, I mean, I've only heard of that character in name. I don't know the backstory and whatnot, but they were gonna get the thicky undercover thicky chick from the AT&T commercials for that.
All that in thickness, AT&T.
You notice ever since that came out in the media, whatever, everybody been thirsting for her online or whatever. Any AT&T commercial from a certain point, they only show her from like maybe the stomach up.
Oh yeah, she'll be hiding behind the board, or she'll be up behind the desk, or they got the sweat. It is what it is. I mean, I would love to see it to fruition, but in the comic book pages, she defeats Thanos.
Ooh,
Yeah, so like pretty much everyone has their shot at Thanos, and I think it works better as an animated series.
yeah.
Maybe further down the line we'd get a live action, but I think with the whole Disney Plus and the whole property, they don't want to put too much eggs in the barrel and knock it over.
Yeah, and then I mean, squirrel. When you say Squirrel Girl, to me that sounds like a young person, and she is not a young person, even though she looks very, very nice, very nice. She's not a young lady.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no, American Chavez is a great character. It definitely sets up the next generation of superheroes with
Hmm.
Marvel, because what seems to be happening with Marvel right now is they're giving chances to the second tier. Well, I don't want to call Doctor Strange second tier because comic books he's number one and
Hmm.
he's OP as hell. But when it comes to the storytelling aspect of Marvel, they're just kind of saying, hey, you know what? A lot of you guys don't know who Doctor Strange was, and people seem to forget Iron Man wasn't that popular amongst comic book readers outside of the cartoon series. So
Hmm.
like if you give him a movie, same thing with the Incredible Hulk, same thing with Captain Marvel, like I'll be honest with you, most people didn't had no idea who Captain Marvel was. They're like, what the hell is this? Is it the man? Isn't Shazam Captain Marvel?
Hmm. So like for me, because like I said, I wasn't a comic book guy, straight up television. So what I know about some of these characters come from like Spider-Man and freaking the Marvel X-Men series that came on Fox Kids and stuff. And just these movies, more or less, and whatnot. So Iron Man was a foreign concept to me when it was announced that it was going to be a movie, just like the Fantastic Four wound up being when they started the first phase of movies or whatever with those characters. Like, who the fuck is that? I think the only recognizable people that I knew from that was the Thing, because I was like, what's this orange rock thing? And I never knew what the fuck it came from. Which I just finished reading the freaking original Sin story arc.
Nice.
So
That's a
with
good storyline.
so they had King Midas in there who looks eerily like the Thing and shit. So I was like, wait a minute, am I fucking up right now?
No, no, no. That's just a little like there's stories where like I forgot what was the name of it, but I read it on a tablet like months ago during the pandemic where the Thing he was trying to cure his ailments and he was just like infecting him, and then same thing with the Hulk, so there was that like kind of duality. And then even Spider-Man where he got the radioactive end of the bite, so he was like
Oh yeah.
slowly dying, and then he gave Mary Jane cancer through,
Yeah.
yeah,
Spider
so
webbing.
this is
Webbing that
Spider.
ass.
Exactly. But this next phase is interesting. Sam Raimi definitely, like, have you seen the Evil Dead films?
Of course. Of course.
You see a lot of touches to it. So one thing that popped me, so in my theater we have a superior sound system. The demons that he used as a cape, all that
Yeah.
screaming and noises are the same voice actors from The Cabin.
Oh, nice.
So that's why you hear that little like listen to it again and you're gonna be like, oh snap, Rito was right. Or same thing with the shaky cam where Wanda was fighting the demons and you see her like this and she's like frantic and moving. That's an Ash tradition
Hmm.
where shaky cam.
And as a tradition as well, Sam Raimi pop a Bruce Campbell up in there.
That was interesting. I loved the well, we'll get to what happens later, but it was definitely a very campy way to show that hey, Bruce Campbell still got it.
Mhm. And then Bruce Campbell to me, I always been associated with campiness anyway, because like I remember the first Evil Dead, and then that Evil Dead that it pretty much started with part two, right? Because they redid the first movie and said it was a second movie, and it was just all weird after that. Then Army of Darkness came out, and it was like, fuck all that old shit anyway. We want this shit. And then he would go on to make the TV series and everything, and that was phenomenal. And shit, he got a game that's coming out pretty soon that kind of tails off of that the TV series and whatnot. So I'm all in on Bruce Campbell doing campy shit.
And this is a film, so when people say, "Oh, like I understand you released this movie on Mother's Day weekend because it's about a mom who wants to find her kids,"
Hmm.
Multiverse of Madness, mom, and
Yeah.
it is a horror movie at its core. Like a lot of people could dismiss it and say, "Oh, it's whimsical." It's not, like this isn't a movie you take your kid to because there's a scene where you see Doctor Strange get impaled on the fence.
Hmm. I
You
mean, I
know,
took my kid to see it.
yeah, but you, listen, you you're the best dad in the world though. That kid can see things and you'd be like, listen, this is just a movie. Understand
Well, I
this.
mean, my kid tells me that. This is just a movie. That's bad CG. I was like, come on, man, you ruining my childhood, damn it.
That's chroma key, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Film school does that to you, like there's janky, CGI in a lot of the films that we love, but we kind of ignore it because
Oh
overall
yeah.
storytelling. I mean, we could say Avatar is the greatest feast for the eyes on film, but when you really break down the story, it's just dances with wolves with blue aliens.
Mhm. And then you talk about bad CGI and prosthetics and props and all this stuff. Me and the kid are going through actively and watching all of the Batman movies.
Oh,
So last night we watched Batman 89 with Michael Keaton and everything, and she as soon as I said it was directed by Tim Burton, she's like, "Oh, I like that guy." So I mean, I had a little bit of hope or whatever, but we watched it last night, and she didn't, because usually she pointed out if it's bad, but she was in the mode of we're gonna do a review probably after me and you finished recording and everything. So she was kind of frantically taking notes while she was watching the movie and shit. So it's just like, all right. So some of the cringy shit or whatever, she might have skipped over because she had her head down typing down notes and everything. So she didn't really tear it up like she normally do.
listen, I gotta say this. The University of Random Ramblings Film School is an incredible university because you're raising the next generation. You know what? I hope one day I'm gonna be like, you know what? Let me put aside this episode of Cult 45 and listen to Little Rob's episode.
Well, I would appreciate that. Damn, yeah, man, because like Halloween was a treat for us as well, because we brought out I brought out a whole bunch of classics for her to watch. And then it was also a challenge too, because they got some horror movies out there that get real into the adult side and whatnot. So it was trying to like pick and choose the good ones. So introduced her to The Thing, which I mean it's scary, great practical effects and everything.
hmm
So I mean, but it wasn't overly sexual and stuff like that. So that was a good pick. And just like I forgot some of the other ones we did. There was only one movie that comes to my mind that we watched out of all 31 days of that month, and that was You Better Watch Out.
Oh, good choice. Good
And
choice.
it was only the one scene when they was talking about Princess Bubblegum, and it's like a pussy probably tastes like. I was like, oh damn, I forgot
Uh,
about that part.
it's one of those things, but like it's incredible to put 31 movies across. One movie, I mean, as she gets older, but I might get hell for this, but one of the greatest Halloween movies I've seen from the Halloween series is Halloween 3.
Mm,
Day of the Witch or whatever it's called, like with the
mhm.
masks and the like. That music is creepy as
Yeah. Boom,
hell.
boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom.
it is. But Sam Raimi, as far as like I said, this is rooted in the horror film, like the filter of a horror film. Like we all have the Vaseline on the lens. This is scary. Like at its core, it is a film that makes you uncomfortable because
Mhm.
there's a scene where certain characters, like, they don't turn away. Like, I think if I was behind the director's chair or as executive producer, sound is key because there is
Yeah.
a scene where someone's head gets snapped and you hear it. You don't see it. You
Yes.
only see so much of it and you feel it. And then they cut to the person in the real world and you're like, what is going on? And same thing with the camera flashes and pan and like,
Yeah.
you're in one universe, you're hugging the air, next thing you know, someone's getting fried and there's a single tear rolling down the eye. Like
Yeah. This is
sound is everything.
Yeah, that's crazy because like even in that thing, just let's just talk about, since this is interdimensional travel, multiversal travel and everything, we got to see some new characters to the cinematic universe. But old at the same time. So we are introduced to the Illuminati, which has been tossed around in circles that I frequent in or whatever, which I've never read that series yet. So I mean, I'm making my rounds and everything. I just finished Original Sin. I just finished Thor: God of Thunder, which that movie's coming up, and it looks like it might have a little tie-in with
Yet
those
the
first two issues of that series.
Yet the God
So,
Butcher, it is one of the
oh boy,
greatest villains on the page. It might be just as good, if not better, than Loki as far as villains go. Maybe even better than Thanos. It's just a matter of keeping that
how they
measurement
portray it, yeah.
exactly, because you could go way left and go campy, or go way right and too evil, or just keep a happy center. Like Taika seems like he's starting to get a hold of things. My only worry is they don't do it right. Like I want Christian Bale from the set of the Terminator film angry on this film.
Yeah, and that was another thing that I come to find out as well, that Christian Bale is going to be that guy, and I was like, I want to say I can see it, but you're gonna have to prove it to me. I'm gonna have
I mean,
to actually see it in action. You know.
give me American Psycho meets the Machinist with a little bit of campiness, not too much, and I think we're gonna enter a realm of uncomfortableness. Not Joker though. Don't do the Joker thing, because it seems like when people try leaning into the Joker thing, it just goes way left. I think this is gonna be one of the greatest villains, as far as Thor goes. But back to the original pace with the Illuminati. It shows that they exist. Like in no matter which way you cut it, it seems like that's the nexus point. Like no matter what, that's the constant. And
Mhm.
I don't know if Doctor Strange of Earth 616, our universe, is gonna say, hey, let's get Black Panther. Let's get, well, we can't get Iron Man. Okay, let's get Hank Pym, or like Namor, or some type of way. Let's marvel this up
Yeah.
and figure it out, because in the original Illuminati storyline, they sent Hulk to Planet Hulk. They sent him to space.
hmm
So unless he goes crazy, which I don't know, unless they separate him somehow, I think they're probably going to send someone else up to space and say, "Hey, fuck off over there and figure it out."
Okay. Yeah, because they seem to be the peacekeepers of just this realm and whatnot. Just be like, all right, we gonna make the hard decisions. You know, we are the royal tribunal of all the superpowered people and whatnot, and are the judge, the jury, and the executioners.
Yeah, and in the way it was introduced, like, so for those who've seen, so this is against spoiler territory. We're already past that. Some people in TV spots, especially for the NBA playoffs, have seen that yellow hovering chair.
Oh,
And you're thinking, what the hell is that? I mean, I knew from the jump, because as a person who watched the series and read the comic books, I'm like,
yeah. I
no.
mean, I know that from the Fox series. So
And the way it's introduced, it's like so and so, so and so, so and so, and our leader, Professor Charles Xavier. And then you hear that. By the way, Danny Elfman worked on this, so he's the music setup guy for this. And you hear that. So it's like, all right, that's that Charles Xavier. And just seeing them on screen, it was like everyone screamed in the theater that I was in, and I was awestruck. Like I'm like, this is the closest thing we got to Stan Lee being in a film as Stan Lee.
yeah,
Because when you think of Charles Xavier, it's like, no, it has to be Patrick Stewart. No one else.
yeah,
It could be that little guy, whatever, cool, whatever. But my Professor X will and always forever be Patrick Stewart.
yeah. And it's cool to get him while you still can.
You know what? He looked old. Like,
Oh yeah,
time is kicking that guy's ass. But you know what? We got him. He had the green suit, the blue tie, and just so there's a quote he says to Stephen where he says, "Although you may stumble, it doesn't mean you're lost forever." That
yeah,
is the same quote from Days of Future Past when Charles Xavier spoke to his younger self. So when I
yeah.
heard that, I'm sitting there like, no one's hearing this. Like one guy was like, "You heard that?" So that was
And th-
incredible.
and then even for me, is just like seeing him on screen in this universe or whatever. I'm just like, I'm thinking about him in Logan. I'm thinking about, the incident in what the Dark Phoenix movie where he fucking got atomized and shit, and then the whole thing with that or whatever. I was like, just the way they're doing this, and just the aspect of time travel and multiversal travel and everything is just like all that stuff is still canon, and it all makes sense. For, I mean, good or worse, if it was a bad movie or a good movie or whatever, it just like it makes sense now.
Oh, you pulled them straight from the cartoon series. Like I think so. Those characters, I don't feel like they're pulled from like the exact same universe. I think they're all from different universes, and they're just not
Mhm.
telling us. Because the one thing that we noticed was with Mordo, he's that universe's Stephen Strange, but
Yeah,
he killed himself when he was killed by another surprise appearance, and I'm surprised it kept this under wraps. Black Bolt,
yeah.
and it was accurate. He had the mask, he had the wings, and just seeing him was like, oh, all right, cool. Like some people in the theater were like, "Who's that?" And I'm just like, ah, oh, whatever.
So there's a character that I came across reading all the original Sin stuff, because they had a lot of side issues as well, apart from the main story arc. There's a dog that has that same tuning fork type deal or whatever. That
Yeah. So that dog was in Inhumans, and also in the Kamala Khan run of Miss Marvel, she babysits that dog. So
okay,
we might see an appearance from him in the uh, Disney Channel, the Disney Plus series, hopefully, or some iteration of it.
okay. And then I thought, for a fainting moment or whatever, that dog was used as one of Steven's, one of his enchantments or whatever, because now we see him casting in snakes and dragons and all kinds of other stuff or whatever. So it's just like in the beginning of the movie when he first get into one of his spats or whatever. Not the very beginning with that. I'm talking about this Steven, the main character
Yeah,
throughout
in
the
New York
movie.
City post wedding.
Yeah. So he was doing the little joint, and I could have swore I saw that dog was one of his enchantments just come across the screen and fuck some shit up and just kind of disappear and shit.
I
It
wouldn't
was
be surprised.
very quick, because all I remember seeing is like the little tuning fork in his forehead and shit. So I don't know.
I mean that makes sense because you're accessing different points of interdimensional travel. I mean perhaps, and like I said, Black Bolt was welcome, and I'm glad that the actor, his name's slipping me, but was able to get that redemption because he seemed very heartbroken that the show wasn't as successful. So I'm glad that he got his time on screen. But the one thing that people were speculating and we weren't sure we were gonna get was, oh wait, hold on, we got Captain Carter. That was
Mm.
incredible.
That was good from that from they kind of played that through the What If series and shit.
That one's a different one. She's from a different universe. Same character, different universe. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, she's probably gonna bust through a portal or something. But it's a different iteration of that.
Mhm.
Then after that was
The Captain Marvel, which was a black lady now.
Maria. I think it was Maria or Monica. I think Monica's the younger one. So Maria Rambo, who
Hmm.
the actress that plays her, is gonna be the next 007 or the female
Word.
version of 007. Yeah. So great actress. She got her time in the sun, and then we're just like, all right, well, what's the next empty chair? And then just
Reed
John
Richards.
Krasinski, Reed fucking Richards.
I know, and everybody just been fantasy booking that for however long, and they just like, here you go, you can have it.
I saw that and I was just like, is this fucking happening right now? Like the whole theater was just like, it was a slow uptick. They're like, oh my god, because the way it was introduced, I'm like, oh, it's Tony. It has to be.
I am glad I was not in the theater like yours, because that shit would have irritated the fuck out of me. I was like, hey, goddamn it, I know it's cool, but they still got dialogue they gotta say, because you're gonna be cheering and shit, and they're gonna be talking, and all I'm gonna see is this. And I'm like, shut the fuck up! I'm trying to hear what they're saying.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. Like just seeing them on screen, the suit looked great. Granted, it was janky CGI, whatever, but we finally got what we wanted. Like
Mhm.
it's great to see that John Krasinski committed because he easily could have said no and said, "Fuck that, I'm just gonna sit on office money."
Yeah,
You know, you could have been like, "Oh no, whatever," and they could have got the next best thing. I mean, now we're gonna address the elephant in the room.
hmm
You know, do we still get these characters after? Honestly, I think we get some iteration of it just because there was a throwaway line by Doctor Strange that said, "Wait, didn't you guys chart in the '60s?" And Fantastic Four, as far as the series or the film, is going to be based in the '60s. So I think they're going to incorporate their time from either being lost in space or Doctor Doom, interdimensional, whatever, yada yada yada, into our
Mhm.
time. So I think that they're introducing that, and then Quantum Mania must come into it because we still have the one who remains, and he's a Richards as well.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh man. It's just like when I seen this the spread they had for the Illuminati, the characters that they had and everything, and the way they went out in hindsight, it's just like I'm fine with that. Because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
we got to see it. I mean, these same people that played these characters don't have to come back again and do this if they don't want to, or if it's not even in the plan. I'm just fine with it. That I got to see it in this form in some kind of way.
it is. So to bring this into wrestling aspect, it's like Kenny Omega showing up to the Royal Rumble and getting eliminated in the first 5 minutes, and then he goes
Mhm.
back to AEW. We got it. I'm fine. I'm happy. You
Yeah.
know, same thing with Kushida when he came to the Cruiserweight Open.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have to sign. He just showed. You could say, "Hey, I could watch him on the WWE Peacock Network," but I'd be happy either way. I mean, it's all up from here. I don't think we're going to see Black Bolt again because that seems like that was a one-off. Definitely going to see Monica or Maria Rambo again because
Mhm.
no body, no death. You just see the arm.
Yeah.
Um, Captain Marvel got cut in half.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
Captain
tough.
Carter.
Yeah,
Just
Captain
I was like,
Carter. Yeah.
oh no. And then it's crazy because Sam Raimi does some gory shit,
Oh, dude, they.
but he did it within the confines of this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because like when they sausage fingered Reed Richard,
they
that's the correlation like with the other movie, right?
they
Uh,
changed. You ever ate a Twizzler before and just pull it apart? He got put into a Twizzler, or as Brandon from Colt 45 said, got changed into barbacoa meat.
Goddamn, yeah. But yeah, soon as he started like shredding apart or whatever, I started thinking about them goddamn sausage fingers, man. I was like, it's that movie all over again.
Yeah.
Even the kid said it. She's like, it says it's the sausage fingers, and then just his head just poof, red light. Just I
Oh
like how
yeah.
they did that. It was just like instead of a blood splatter, it was just like her red power mist, just poof.
Yeah, Captain Carter's death. It was just like you didn't see it, but you saw it and you heard it, and then you saw the
Yeah,
little meat on the. It was just ugh. And then same thing with oh my god, Black Bolt. Like
Black Bolt. He just like, oh man, that was just
yes,
it was
he has.
funny and sad at the same time. He's like, boom,
Oh
pop his
dude,
head off.
he has the power to kill you with his mouth. What
Mm.
mouth? Back up. Bah! And and his head could have just exploded, but just a little cave in. I'm like, oh, it
Within the
was.
confines of this cinematic universe, he was able to get away with a lot of things.
And Doctor Strange fighting, Mordo in the other room, and he's just like, "Your vote got these people killed," and it's just like, yeah. And you got the Carrie call back with the oil or the blood on
Yeah,
Wanda's face, and just the stare. Like she was just, she was the figure. Like for those who have seen Halloween or The Shape, just walking through the doors, walking through the doors, walking through the
hmm
doors, killing
shit,
people.
or even just kind of like the creature from the newer Evil Dead or whatever, just the blood rain and everything, and just walking all fucked up and shit.
Oh my god! And she knows no bounds to protect her children. And I understand there's people who didn't see WandaVision, but
Yeah,
in retrospect, as they say, hindsight's 2020. Looking it back, watch WandaVision after seeing this film, and it is a terrifying
yeah.
series. It's not all ha ha ha. It's like yo, like this is she's
It,
going through
it,
some
it
shit.
yeah, it clicks off safe at some points or whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, because I remember like when old girl the agent the black chick came or whatever, and she was talking about right after the kids were born or whatever, and she just kind of you know head tilt to the
Yes.
side or whatever. Who are you? And then damn, it just poof fade to black, and it's just like that shit was scary as fuck.
That or when the agent who came in with Donna Foreman or whatever, the mom from that '70s show, and she's choking and she's like, "Do something," and she's just willing it and letting it happen. Like,
Hmm.
for those who haven't watched WandaVision, watch this first and then WandaVision to kind of get that perspective, because it makes it
Hmm.
20 times scarier.
Yeah. And then just him going to visit her initially, Doctor Strange going to visit Wanda initially, just you almost had me. This looks almost real, you know? And she's just living in this barren wasteland of hot shit. Just like, man. And you just
Houston in the
doing this
middle
to
of
her parents.
August.
Shit, Houston now. Fuck. It's like I went outside just to drop a trash bag in the trash can, and almost my sandals almost melted to the pavement.
Yeah, it's definitely something that, like, they did a good thing. And in the if you weren't listening, like, there's some people, they just watch movies and pass, and they'll text on their phone, they'll talk to the person
Mm,
next to them. She's just like, yeah, we gotta save the girl, we gotta do this, do that. And then she says the line, well,
yeah.
okay, I'll save America. And then he looked at her and he's just like, I never told you her name.
Well, he didn't even say that. She's like, fuck. I mean, she didn't say fuck, but she was like, you didn't tell me her name, right?
Yep.
He's
And then
like,
that's when it just, and I was like, oh, she is going through it.
mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah,
people that say they want more from it, like, listen, you got what you got in a pandemic storyline. Like, everyone's like, where's Vision? Like, listen, he's figuring shit out. He's doing Vision shit.
yeah.
You
You will
know,
get a vision of him later.
that's the thing too. Like, a lot of people, they wanted this to
It's
be
my
all
comics and I want it now.
exactly. They just want it all tied in, and it's just like, listen, just take it as it in. Like, if this, I would have been happy if they said, hey, listen, we're still working things out. We're going to release this in October. I'd be okay with it, because with multi interdimensional travel, it's
Mhm.
anything could happen. I mean, this
And
is
I
a film. Mhm.
and I keep saying this ever since they pulled the trigger with Infinity War and all this other stuff. It's just like they have literally future proofed their franchise. You added time travel and interdimensional travel. It's like, and I keep saying this over and over again. You got an actor that don't want to play ball? Fuck it, get a variant in there. Get
Yeah.
out of here. They
Yeah.
future proof their franchise moving forward. Because like they had the issue with the Black Panther shit going on. I know Chadwick passed away, but old girl, the one that plays Shiri or whatever, they was having issues with her because of the COVID stuff, and she didn't want to get
Mm,
vaccinated. Yada yada yada. Variant.
mm.
You don't play
Oh,
ball? Get the fuck out.
oh, well, how did the variant? Well, we have a mini series for you. She was on a
Mm,
last mission and she was killed, and it just so happened that America pulled her with her, or we time traveled, or
mhm,
as Reed. And the thing is, I forgot what was the term that Reed Richards used, but he used something like almost like a nexus type word. I don't remember what was the word. I think
mhm.
it was a quandrium or something like that.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a common thing. And a lot of people were pissed as far as what I say. Oh, where's Loki? It's like, listen, we're gonna get season 2, and it's just gonna all come in
Mhm,
together, because you future proof your shit. Like you said, he's outside of time. He's not being recognized.
mhm,
Actor passes away. People don't play ball. You future proof it, and then there's people are like, well, we don't want to retell the story. Retell the variant story.
mhm. And then also it's just like America Chavez. So because of her and her power, she's the only one in all the multiverses or whatever is the way she puts it and whatnot. She's never run into herself in any of her travels, and she's been to like 73 different multiverses and whatnot, and she's never come across herself or any variation of herself, which I thought was pretty cool. So how
As
does that happen? And then how is that going to play into things moving forward is what I wonder.
I think, and here's the thing, she's still new to her powers,
Hmm.
because, like you said, time is different. Like,
Oh, also, and then I'm kind of explaining it to myself in my mind as we just brush through this movie and everything. The she could probably have the power, but she is like ultimately she's what they call it, the sleep. walking, the sleep dreaming, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, dream walking. Yeah,
Yeah, dream walking. She's probably ultimately doing that rather than how everybody else perceives it and whatnot. So I mean, her shit is so strong that she can actually take people and interact and do all kinds of stuff. But she's jumping into her persona in each multiverse or whatever.
and
So she never comes across herself.
and here's the thing: now that the X-Men are pretty much canon, or at least in this variation,
Mm-hmm.
least we forget we have Rogue.
Yeah.
She crosses into Rogue. Now we got two of them.
So what's the only thing I know of Rogue is she touch a bitch, take their powers temporarily, or depending on how long she holds them, or whatever, how long the effects will last on her and whatnot. So what do you mean by if she come across Rogue, we got this thing? What's going on? Explain. Hit me up, player. Hit me up, player. Don't leave me hanging.
So let's say in her interdimensional travels,
Mm-hmm.
because she's training with Doctor Strange now, so she's figuring things out. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say for some odd reason someone scares her, she poofs into the Professor Xavier School Institute of Mutants and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
She goes over. Rogue says, "What are you doing?" Grabs her, whatever. She passes
Oh, I see
out.
what you're saying.
Rogue goes to another place, and when she goes to another place, you know, in her world, she could be gone for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
In her adventures, she could be gone for
5 years.
5 years, and that's the thing. And powers work different in different interdimensions. As Doctor Strange's little booth and told him, "We don't know how your powers work. We don't know how they work in this universe."
Mm-hmm.
So in Rogue going to Earth 616 or Earth 738 or Earth 666 or
Well,
whatever,
619, booyaka, booyaka.
where everyone wears a mask,
Yep, I would love to see that play.
she touches someone and her powers are good for 24 hours. Like, they really future proof this shit because time moves different in every
Mhm.
interdimension. So
What
anything's
don't
possible.
And then moving forward, the character that I'm most interested in and how they're gonna weave everything up with the current existing films is Deadpool because he has the time travel module or the dimensional travel module or whatever and everything. I wonder if they're gonna weave that in there somewhere or if they're gonna scrap it all together because I know we getting the character coming. They already confirmed it, but
Oh, it's
yeah,
Deadpool. I
yeah,
think the way you do it, and it's going to be in the most Deadpool fashion, is he's going to be sitting. So open the scene. Deadpool's
just
talking,
mhm.
showing things like, "Oh yeah, by the way, this is how it's going down," and you thinking that he's making a scrapbook, and you're looking at all this, and he's telling the story, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you think?" And then camera cuts to the Watcher. What are you doing here? And then roll opening credits, and then Deadpool voiceover. Oh, you want to wonder how I'm getting? I just want to go in a universe where I want to be happy with my girlfriend. Ah, da, da, da.
Yeah, I'm sold. Hey, give Rito the book.
That's the thing. Or even have him just sit there, like, open the scene, and then it cuts to Ryan Reynolds in the booth talking. It's like, you really want to know how this stuff works? I have no idea. Let me tell you how. Is it Loki? Cut to him like taking a picture with somebody in a Loki mask or someone. With
Mhm.
Deadpool, it's campiness to the 10th degree. So you could be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I was in Logan. You don't believe me? Roll film," and it'll show like a little cutout moving across, walking.
Yeah. And then also is just like a lot of people, not too long after Stan Lee died, because they acquired all those properties and shit. They wanted Deadpool to fill the role of Stan Lee, like have him pop up just sporadically throughout the films, just make a cameo, however small. And I would be down with some shit like that. You just see motherfuckers having this fucking fight or whatever, then Deadpool, because he got the little module, he just pop in. What the fuck? And you look around and poof, and he just gone again. It's just like, did I really see that dude? Who I thought it was in the background. I would like shit like that until
Oh,
they work up into a movie or something.
oh yeah, I know Spider-Man's slated for another film, so like what I would like to see is like, Spider-Man swinging around and whatever, helping the Avengers, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I need to get to Avengers HQ," and then you'd be like, "All right," he gets to HQ and be like, "Didn't we take care of you 5 minutes ago? Weren't you the guy that was in the red suit?" And he goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then post credit scene, you see Deadpool going into the facility like, "Hey guys,"
Oh
same way
man,
that he did in Civil War.
so much good shit.
TV shows, literally anything. You could just be like, even post credit scene, like I don't know if Moon Knight's going to be introduced as a character in the main line because Oscar
Mhm.
Isaac has, Warner Brothers at his door and Star Wars at his back door, and then
Mhm.
Disney at his front door. It's like you got the characters that talk amongst each other. So I know I'd like to see a cameo of Moon Knight talking to himself. He's like, yeah, I'm just going through it. I go through these phases, and then Deadpool just leans on. I'm like, yeah, I talk to myself too. And then what? And then cut to black.
Oh yeah, so much good shit. So, what else we got going on in this film? Um, the This made sense to me to be a Sam Raimi film because the Darkhold eerily reminds me of the Necronomicon.
Yeah, that's not done by accident. That was one of the main signing points for Sam Raimi, saying like, "Oh, you know what? I've worked with the Book of the Dead. I could, and that's another thing. You could have Deadpool show up in the next because they say Doctor Strange will return in the post credit scene. You could do another Doctor Strange movie and be like, "Well, the Necronomicon's destroyed," and then Deadpool shows up with the literal Book of the Dead and be like, "Oh, I got this book. Ah, it doesn't amount to nothing." Tosses it over his shoulder.
You do some damn prison break shit to where you have like all the shit from the Darkhold tattooed on his body or some shit.
Oh yeah, I got it tattooed on me. There's nothing there. I'm constantly healing inside and out,
Yeah.
but it's all right because I learned a thing from a fat kid from Australia. And then prison wallet pulls it out.
Uh,
It's
uh
Deadpool.
yeah.
It's Deadpool. We've already established that.
Mhm. So man, what else? What were some of your favorite parts of this film?
Wong deserves his own TV show. Like I want Wong to be like, hey, listen, I'm gathering a skilled magicians and whatnot. Like just a miniseries, because in Deadly Class, an NBC property through Peacock, he
I didn't
played.
like that so much.
Oh, we are
I got
fighting. That was my favorite. I love the comic books. You got to read the comic books.
okay. Maybe that'll be something different, but the TV show it didn't grab me, man. It's just like the kid that they use. It was just like, man, there's nothing about you that seemed rough to me. Yeah,
Yeah, nah.
yeah, nothing about you says hardship to me. It's just like I could I it didn't grab me.
Think of TJ Detweiler being emo, and it'll solve everything.
Okay,
It's a good show. I read the comic books
I'll probably
first.
finish it. Maybe I got because I have that issue about me or whatever. If I start something, I gotta finish it, no matter if I like it or not.
I had a crush on Maria too, the actress that plays her, so I think that factored into it. Um, yeah, I like the fact that it was a horror film.
Mhm.
It was greatly paced, like right from the jump. You have Doctor Strange running through it, and then just the fact that he took over a zombie body,
Yeah.
and and Wong was just like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna question this because I've seen it all before.
Mhm. And then like damn, I had it and I lost it. Shouldn't have been drinking all this goddamn wine. Uh I don't know. I lost it. Fuck it.
Zombie Wong. Um,
A zombie Wong.
yeah, no, just seeing the way that the music score by Danny
Oh yeah,
Elfman
that
in the
was good.
series,
Hmm.
like just even the fight with the musical notes, like on paper, it's like what the hell is going on, but when you see it happen, it's just like, and people forget that. I think in the first Doctor Strange movie, he liked playing music as he operated, so that's kind of
Hmm.
like a little, oh, here's an Easter egg, and just the guitar licks when he was getting taken over by the Darkhold and taking over the zombie. You're the
Did you see a series called fuck? Oh, not a series, a movie. Kung Fu Hustle. You seen that, right?
Oh, I loved it. That's what Everything Everywhere All at Once reminded me of. But yes, I
Yeah.
love Kung Fu Hustle.
So the music notes or whatever remind me of the guys playing the freaking the joint or whatever, the little
Yeah,
thing from
yeah.
Kung Fu Hustle and everything. So when I seen that, then he hit the harp strings. I was like, oh yeah, that's I like that shit.
Oh, these guys love that movie because even in Shang-Chi, they did the same thing, with
Hmm.
the rings and the movements, and he even had the Kung Fu Hustle behind them, the poster.
Yep.
Um, I think Wong, because it says Doctor Strange will return, so I don't know what way if we're gonna get a third one, because a lot of people assume that Now this is where we get to post credit scene. Doctor Strange is walking in the street. His third eye is
Third
opening.
eye is open.
He's freaking the fuck out. And the next thing you know, he's continuing walking. And then people thought Psylocke showed up at the end of the film from the X-Men. It's not. It's actually, I forgot her name, but
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
it is the niece of Dormammu.
Yeah, so that was a question. I'm glad you brought that up, because when she cut the rift and everything, and I seen the world that they were going to step into, I was like, that looked like some Dormammu shit.
Yeah, so I think that she's either going to sway him into, having another heel turn, because in the comic book series, he's taken over and essentially becomes a devil. So with Dormammu, he's going to show up. And I think what they're going to do to call back to the last Doctor Strange movie is he's going to walk
He's
in
here
and
to bargain.
He's here to bargain. Because in our perspective, when we first saw it, it's like, oh, he's going rewinding it each time. But there's a couple, if you watch the film again, he doesn't rewind every time. So I think when he shows up, he's going to say, hey, I'm here to bargain. He's like, oh, not this shit again. And then that's when we get that, like, because it's his niece, so something's got to be happening. And everyone knows nieces and nephews, daughters and whatnot. When it's the big evil, it doesn't turn out to be great.
Word.
And plus, he killed Thanos. Doctor Strange killed Thanos. I mean, I know we swept over that, but like he made that shit look easy.
Yeah, he did. Just like you just see him just laid out across the rock and shit with fucking his sword in his chest, and I was like, God damn.
Oh, and then Black Bolt, I'm sorry, and just
yeah, that reminded me of like the Watchmen and shit,
Yeah. Yep.
That
Inhumans definitely needs to be that gritty if they ever make that movie. Like, one thing I liked too was they showed the different outcomes of each reality. Like, and that's we completely glossed over the fact that we had a mental fight with Professor X and Wanda, and then the hands just come out.
Yeah, and that version of the Scarlet Witch that came out of that cloud of smoke, or whatever, that was like very Sam Raimi-esque. It looked like one of the demons from one of the movies and shit. Just gnarled and fucking burnt and all kinds of creepy shit. Didn't they have a scene where she came out like a wall or a portal or some shit, and she started doing like the little freaking
when they were in the big like stronghold.
Yeah,
she's in the reflection. Like, I'm like, oh fuck,
creepy shit. Just splashing the water around so she can't get out and shit. And she came out of a fucking gong of all things, the reflection of a gong. Shit.
Yeah, once you see Wanda, you're gone. Like, it was scary. It was interesting to see where they took it. And Sam Raimi, I hope that he still has a working relationship with Marvel, because what I want to see as far as Sam Raimi do is an isolated, closed off, not connected to any other tethers of the Marvel universe, Marvel Zombies TV or film.
Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that. Yeah.
Give him that, and that's the thing. CGI, prosthetic, makeup, multiverse, variants. Just put a zombie filter over it, and you get... If Marvel single-handedly revives the zombie genre, which I think they will if they do this right, Walking Dead will have a resurgence. Because a lot of people fell off of that. Too many zombie movies. Yeah, we got all zombied out. It seemed like every World War Z... I'm in love with a zombie boyfriend who loves me.
Yeah, Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies, yeah. So
shit, the Santa Clarita Diet or whatever. That was a fun show. I like that.
It's good to see. I think one thing is, I like the fact that they kept asking if Steven was happy, because he never answered it wholeheartedly. Like, he said, yeah. So I think with this whole third eye, because they say the Darkhold corrupts those who get involved. And I think we're going to see that. Like, hopefully we get a Doctor Strange heel turn, because we got a Wanda one, and it was excellent. We didn't see her die. As they say, no body, no death.
Yeah.
So,
and then everybody also, like, I think there was the only branch universe, well, two, to where Strange even died or whatever. But everyone that they went to or they mentioned Strange, he was ultimately a bad guy most of the time.
Yeah, and that's the constant because when you really break, and that's why I say when Mordu became the Sorcerer Supreme of that Earth,
Mhm.
he was still a bad guy. So,
True.
and I'm not, and I don't know if Mordo was, pre Doctor Strange, the film, was a Sorcerer Supreme adjacent or some sort. And then same thing with the villain from the first one. They got a hold of the Darkhold, becomes evil, corruption, absolute power corrupts absolutely, yada yada yada. It's the constant struggle with Doctor Strange. Like he never finds happiness, he never finds his love, and then now he's coming to Dormammu to bargain possibly. I think we're going to see a Doctor Strange heel turn.
We will see. So, as I look around to all these classic characters in comic book history on our screen here, the one I'm most interested in, since we have been teased with a little bit of Reed Richard, is the one that he's fighting down there in the corner, Doctor Doom. Fantasy book for me,
I
man. How you think we can get this in here? How can we shoehorn this in here? Tell me something, man. Tell me something good.
so I think with the No Way Home, uh, having Avengers Tower be sold,
Mm-hmm.
the Baxter Building,
Ooh.
and that's the thing. It's the Baxter Institution or whatever they called it. I think a lot of people are going to assume that oh, it was Reed Richards that bought it. Like people forget that Victor Von Doom is smart billionaire
Mm-hmm.
or whichever way you want to play it
Mm-hmm.
because he could be Iron Man variant for all we
Yeah.
know.
And then
Ooh.
also, yeah, and then also from what I know of cinematic universe or whatever, because I don't know shit about the comics, Doctor Doom is always funding Fantastic Four shit, pretty much.
Exactly. So he funds the building. Whose parents we don't see in No Way Home and the whole Spider-Man series?
Oh,
Flash's
Flash, yeah.
parents. You look at Flash; they never really establish his background. At least I don't assume
Yeah.
so. So he's racially ambiguous. So you get someone like, well, who can it be? And this is who I want. Ever since I've seen him in Breaking Bad,
I know you amongst the millions, and with myself included.
I want to see Giancarlo Esposito. I think that's his name.
Mhm.
As other people know, Gustavo Fring
Yeah.
as Doctor Doom because you look at him, from a surface level, you look at him and Flash, the palettes match up.
Hmm.
He kind of plays a version of Doctor Doom in The Boys as the president of Vought.
Yeah.
He has that tone to him, and he's just like, well, yes, we'll take care of this. And you put that behind the mask, and you have, the voice and everything. It's all up from here.
Hmm.
Or, let's say, oh, now we're going to go with someone else. I mean, you can even go with Walter White himself playing, Doctor Doom.
I'm down with that.
But we got to see. I mean, I think for all we know, he's probably working with Zemo
Hmm. Yeah.
because Doctor Doom could be like, hey, I'm from the same hometown. You guys fucked it up. Now I'm here to get revenge.
Revenge.
So anything's up. I mean, as much as I'd like to see, what do you call it, Magneto, a Black Magneto,
Mhm.
he could play Magneto too.
Yeah.
So it's
Also,
gonna be interesting.
also, things that have not come to fruition. Adam Warlock. What's up with that guy?
I think he probably got lost in the shuffle, or it'll
In
probably be some throw.
space.
I think they're gonna probably introduce that in the Nova TV series, maybe, or
Mhm.
I mean, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, or even Thor. Guardians of the Galaxy 3.5. For all we know, she opens up the chamber. All right, let's get him out. And it's just all right. That's done with that story.
Yeah. You think we get
There's a
some?
lot going on.
Yeah, you think we get something from Howard the Duck?
He was amongst the crew in Endgame,
Mm-hmm.
and he was. I mean, hey, you could open up the pit and be like, "Oh, hey, it was Howard in there the whole time." I think we should get a Howard the Duck series, but put it on Hulu,
Yeah.
like that whole monkey thing
Yeah.
that I'm yet to watch.
Yeah. Or Modoc. That was on there too.
I love Patton Oswalt, but that wasn't
It
his
was
best
all
showing.
right. It was all right.
It was Robot Chicken with
Yeah.
an X Men filter over it.
Mm-hmm. So now,
And let's make Sue Storm black. I want to see a black Sue Storm.
okay, I'm down with that. So with the Eternals in the Marvel universe, we have Moon Knight introducing other gods of many of different places and whatnot. And then, just multiversal travel has revealed that there has some other characters out there and whatnot. This I really do think they're priming for that God killer shit, man. And I'm ready for that because they're introducing God like characters, and there's been a lot of God talk amongst these films that have been coming out as well. So it's just like I read it, now I want to see it.
I mean, there's a flash in the film when they're traveling through the interdimensions. You see the three-headed living tribunal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that has to do with Loki or with whatever. I just know that like when Secret Wars comes out
Yeah, I forgot
and
about
we
that too.
get
Yeah,
when Secret Wars comes out and we get that whole Doom world and the planet and prehistoric and yada yada yada, it's gonna be incredible. And I mean, for all we know, he who remains above, or he who is above, or whatever, pretty much Adam Man, because Miles gives him the cheeseburger. I don't know if you read that,
no,
but there's a part in Secret Wars where pretty much the way Miles gets introduced into Earth 616, because there's a Nexus event which is called the two planets collide, and when the two
yeah,
planets collide, a lot of people in the Illuminati and whatever, they get in the spaceship and they figure, there's a bunch of rigmarole and yada yada yada, and Miles sneaks onto it, and obviously his mom or someone gives him a cheeseburger, keeps it in there, and to help Adam, and he's like, "Oh, what do you want to wish?" He's like, "I just want to get back home," and he's just like, "Well, what do you have to offer? I'm very hungry. I've been in this interdimensional void for however long years," and he gives him a cheeseburger, and then he's just like, "There, you're in the universe."
very well.
So, so I think Deadpool is going to be the cheeseburger guy. Be like, "Oh yeah, here's a cheeseburger."
I got these cheeseburgers, man.
Listen, if Deadpool does that, I will watch that movie 20 times over.
Well, shit, man. I think we done covered just about everything. I mean, shit, fun movie. I'm probably gonna sneak away Thursday on my day off and go see it again. But
Yeah, it's an incredible series. I think I hope it. And here's the thing: expectations were at an all time low on that one because I thought it was going to be bad. It was better than the first one.
yeah, mm-hmm. Oh,
Was it better than No Way Home? Perhaps.
I don't know about all that, but it definitely just like even the visuals on that thing. It looks like just something brand new. Just like I know it's just something like I've never seen cinema like that before. It's just I watch a lot of movies, but that movie seemed like it was just a cut above everything else that's out right now.
Oh, Thor is in trouble because I
Hmm.
hope this Thor movie's good.
Yeah.
This is the fourth out, and I mean, I hope it's good. Post credit scene. I mean, oh, we always forgot to mention the last post credit scenes. What did you think of? Um,
Bruce
oh,
Campbell.
oh boy, Bruce Campbell at the end saying, "It's over. It's finally over."
Yeah. Just a little jab. It's just I don't know.
Oh, people were mad in my theater. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I waited for that."
Yeah. Somebody told me. Not they didn't tell me what it was, but they said like, yeah, just stay behind it. I mean, if you're gonna see the movie more than once, it's good to stay behind once and watch it. It's just like a long drawn out joke.
You know what gets me is when people just get up and leave. Like I'm like, you realize you don't know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Like people just get up and I'm like, ah.
Because like here internationally, the movie premieres on Wednesday, and then for us it'll show early on Thursday, but premiere weekends on Friday. So like on Wednesdays, I'm like trying to tentatively get online and be like, how many end credit scenes they got? Because sometimes I do just want to get up and leave, but if I get somebody that goes before me, I'm like, hey man, how many end credit scenes they got? There's like only one. All right, cool. And I'll just sit and wait. Then I'm out.
It seems like the bathroom hits you hard. It's just like, oh yeah, your body knows, and you're sitting there like, oh come on, hurry up. And it
Mhm.
seems like the credits get longer and longer. I'm like, I don't want to know who was best boy
Yeah,
and key grip.
key grip.
I'm just like, listen, put that at the beginning of the movie, man. Like, let us come in late for that.
Mhm. Key grip.
But yeah, it's the same thing. I'm just like, hey, I could get best boy and key grip, like sure, but it was a good movie experience. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Ooh, ooh, 1 to 10, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. For 2022, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give
What's
this.
what's the random ramblings with Rob's score?
I give it a 9, man. I like it.
I give it about an 8.5,
Mm-hmm.
just because I felt like there was more left on the table. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think I, I'm the thing. I'm from the house where I like kind of bummer endings. But if you just ended it with the Illuminati, like at the like post credits, and just left it, perfect film.
Yeah, I'm
You
down with
know,
that.
but it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with X-Men and everything. Now it's just all up in the air, and people are gonna want more. Like
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Feige he's gonna get Elon Musk money in no time.
Yeah. And then I've just been seeing things that I haven't even read up on yet because, like I said, I'm just starting to get into the comics. Because you have a adaptation of freaking Knight Rider. I mean Knight Rider. uh, what's your Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider. There
I
you
was
go.
just saying, I mean, per canon, Hasselhoff is in Guardians of the Galaxy, like so that can happen.
True, but nah, I mean Ghost Rider. We got Moon Knight there, and I forget who the other two. I think it's Blade that's coming soon, and then another. What was that? Midnight Sun.
Punisher,
Yeah, Punisher. Yeah,
yeah,
Midnight Sun.
yeah, yeah.
What was that about?
So pretty much what it is, I haven't read that far into it, but it's like an organization of people who are like kind of like the dark side of the Marvel universe.
Mhm.
So
I am the
you
Knight.
know, it's essentially what John Constantine had with Justice League Dark.
Okay,
It's like their version of it. Will we get that on screen? Hopefully, Doctor Strange leads his version of the Dark Avengers. Like I said, there's going to be something for everyone, and it's just a matter of who's going to play ball. Because, like I said, you could get replaced like that. You know,
word.
oh, you got killed on the mission in Budapest. Done. Oh, we got your twin brother. Done. We got the variant. Oh, we got Petro. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
And those kids, Wanda's kids, they got a paycheck for life because as long as they don't get into weird shit and act up, you got another potential West Coast Avengers team up with the young kids.
Also, I know they ain't gonna do nothing but get older or whatever, but like in the time that WandaVision came out, up until how they were portrayed in this film or whatever, they don't look like they aged all that much.
I think they shot it all in one shot, and they
Mm,
just haven't told us yet.
maybe.
Because with Marvel, they like to keep things in house. They give you things in pieces. They like to misdirect because that things have gotten out of hand line is not in the film.
Mhm. Yeah, so it'd be like, all right, you show up in your Doctor Strange garb as an extra or whatever. Like, all right, now we doing Black Panther today. Fuck. All right.
Oh, dude, and that's the thing. Like Marvel, likes I'll tell you something off cam, but there's a way that they do things.
Word. But yeah, man, I appreciate you just chatting it up with me, getting my hopes up and bringing some of them down, maybe about these films and whatnot. But let them know where they can find you on the lines there, Rito.
Everywhere, Rito's Modern Life, wherever you need to find me. I am currently on a hiatus with my podcast. I will be back soon.
Rito will
Just
return.
exactly. We're gonna put that then. Rito will return. But yeah, we're just figuring things out, and there's a lot of things in motion for the summer. And coming this fall, you're gonna see me in some projects.
Word. What, Fifth Ward, Third Ward? They're not those projects. All right.
No. Let's just say things are
Word,
good.
word. But as it is, as always, man, you've been a guest of the show, yada, yada, yada. Come back anytime, promote your shit and all that crap.
Acknowledge me.
Acknowledge him. So, with that being said, on behalf of myself, on behalf of my man Rito, that's it, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Rub your meat.